Good morning, guys. Welcome to my humble abode. Time to start the day. All right, I just ended one video and now we're starting a new one. Welcome to my mini tour of East Texas here. I just woke up on the beautiful Caddo Lake. In the last video, I did not show you guys pretty much everything I have going on and how I'm able to effectively live out of my truck while I'm on the road, but here it is. So here's the boat I've been using. Here's the boat we're gonna go all over East Texas with and catch a bunch of bass. That cooler over there, that OtterBox, is absolutely key for myself because it lets me keep food cool all week. I mean, I threw ice in there, and for the next week or so, it's gonna be fine. I've got all my breakfast, lunch, dinner items in there, everything like that. And then this truck, 6.5-foot bed, all the storage I need in here, all my filming equipment, all my clothes, everything is in there. Got like a 3-prong outlet in there, a bunch of other charging ports, and it's a diesel truck, so I can idle it all night and charge my stuff if I'm not at a traditional campsite like I have in this one. This is how I'm able to not only truck camp, but truck camp in extreme comfort. I don't just have an inflatable air mattress right here. I used to drive a Suburban and throw an air mattress in the back of it, and it worked, but it was not ideal. This is incredible. Even the cap in here, it's just like a Lear cap, but it's got ventilation systems. But the biggest thing that allows me to do this is this deck system right here. This thing is absolutely incredible for organization, storage. These drawers come out. I mean, I got all my, I don't have much in here right now, but I got all my simple camping stuff right here. The coolers go right there. But the biggest thing is that in the bed of a truck, you got wheel wells. And had I not put in a deck system and wanted to sleep in the back of the truck, this bed would have taken up the entire truck because those wheel wells come out so far. This deck system allows you to have a completely flat surface. Got a big double mattress in here, and it's more than enough room. I even have a down sleeping bag because got down to 35 last night, but it was very warm and toasty. I slept like a baby for 9 hours. But I'm telling you guys, this deck system is absolutely awesome. These things are made in the US. I'm sure many of you have seen these before, seen people have them on the road. I wanted one for a while. I wasn't sure quite how much I would love them, but it's like almost to the point of necessity. If you want to be camping out of your truck and living on the road like I am this week, it is so absolutely necessary. But we fished on Caddo Lake yesterday. Absolutely one of the most beautiful lakes in America. Very unique looking lake. We fished it for an hour and a half yesterday, and I caught one. If you can see right now, we're way up at a campsite right now up in the river, and the lake is high. It's like 1.5 to 2 feet high. It's cold water, it's muddy. So we're not gonna fish upriver like we did yesterday. We're gonna go towards Main Lake, try to find a lot less current, more stable water, and hopefully catch a lot of bass. So I am just packing up my campsite right now. Just wanted to show you guys just a little more detail of how I'm living out here in this incredible system that's allowing me to do so. All those OtterBox coolers, like everything is just so necessary. So we're gonna get packed up and get to fishing here pretty quick. Well, just got out here. Even though this lake is just like, anywhere you look is drop dead gorgeous, we might be switching lakes. The guy I spoke with right there, so the water temperature is 48 degrees, and that it was 44 when they launched this morning. And they haven't had a bite. The 2 other boats there, they haven't had a bite either. It's 10 o'clock right now. I'm still gonna give it a shot because this lake has giant bass in it and it's incredibly beautiful. I think the 15-pounder was caught a couple years ago. I'll throw a picture of that up right now, but yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna switch lakes because the whole idea of this video, I don't think I've said yet, but this video is sponsored by our good friends at Carl's Bait and Tackle. Before I went on this trip, I popped up on their website. If you guys don't know what Carl's Bait and Tackle is, I'll leave the information in the description. They're the guys that have made Mystery Tackle Box. It's an incredible new place where you can buy all your fishing tackles, kind of like a Costco in that you can pay a membership fee. You get everything for such great deals. So I popped on the website and got a couple baits that I thought would help me catch some bass here in East Texas before this trip. Number one being this saw craw. Package of saw craws, I should say. I actually got 2 of them because I know you can run through a lot of soft plastics when you're fishing in Texas. Then got a couple jigs. These are some Catchco flipping jigs, all 1/2 ounce. And got a little square bill crankbait by Lucky Craft. All this for a great discount because of the prices you get with Carl's Bait and Tackle. Again, I will leave that in the description below. Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, right? So we're gonna try to catch some bass out here in Caddo. If the water's too cold and doesn't warm up enough, then we're gonna have to switch lakes and make something happen. It's a big bummer for me. I shouldn't have been here 2 weeks ago because this lake is incredibly beautiful and I've wanted to fish it my whole life. This is obviously not the ideal conditions you want to fish it when the water temperature plummets and Florida bass hate cold weather, if you guys didn't know that. So I don't know, we're just gonna motor somewhere in this giant maze of cypress trees and hopefully catch a couple. Now all these awesome baits I'm using today I did get from Carl's Bait and Tackle, like I said. If you have not tried it yet, you guys can get 30 days free by clicking the link down in my bio. But also, you can still save on the awesome deals they have going on for Black Friday. They have such a high percentage off of so many products like lures, apparel, just anything you could think of involving fishing. Karl's is the stop you need to make. With that being said, maybe one of these million cypress trees I flip on is gonna have a bass on it. I'm gonna give myself a couple hours here, fish a lot of different types of structure, and if I can't get any clues, then I'm just gonna leave. Because there's good fishing lakes all over East Texas, and there's no reason to pound your head against a wall in a lake that's clearly not on when there's plenty of others that are likely fishing very well. Well, it is a new day. We have high spirits. We're not really gonna talk much about what happened yesterday. I sucked. I got my ass kicked by two bodies of water that were very high, muddy, and cold. I went to Caddo and then Lake of the Pines. They were both awful. So naturally my move was to go do what is pretty much rated the best bass fishery in the entire country right now, Lake Sam Rayburn. More importantly, I talked to the guy at the ramp, because as you guys can see, my graph it's not working. That's why I keep saying like, oh, this guy said the water temp is this guy said the water temp is that. The wiring is screwed up. I have to fix it. It was fixed, but then in the drive here, like it stopped working again regardless. He said the water temp is 59 and he caught 60 bass yesterday. That's what I like to hear. All right, don't worry, Karl. We're gonna continue using your baits and catch fish on those, but does this morning not just look absolutely perfect and beautiful for a top water? Now this bait, many of you are going to be curious as to what this is. If you guys are watching, wow, I am struggling right now getting this off my rod tips. This is a musky bait. However, big bass absolutely love this thing. It's a bigger, louder, better made whopper plopper. That sound they just absolutely hate. Oh, speaking of sound, that reel needs some TLC. Last fall when I fished here, the very first time I threw in Texas, I caught like an 8 or 9 pounder. The biggest bass I've ever caught in my life on it. So this lake has a ton of big bass. I can't not throw it, at least for the first couple hours in the morning. It's like 7:30 in the morning. Sunrise was at 7. All right, I just ran a couple of these little main lake points with the home run hitter, and we did not hit a home run, but that's okay. I'm going to go make a little bit of a move. Honestly, it's a big move because this lake is absolutely giant. I think it's over 100,000 acres, so what looks like a little move on a map is actually a pretty big move. I'm gonna go to the very back of this creek because it's the fall and the shadleys are moving to the backs of the creeks right now. The bass are following. And earlier in this video, like I said in the fall, you always want to be around the bait. And this lake is absolutely full of bait and I haven't seen a damn bait fish yet. So I'm going back there. I literally just turned the camera on and we just got hammered on a lipless crankbait. Okay, that's the first fish of the day. Wow, did I snag him? Either he brutally missed. Oh my God, I thought it was so much bigger. Either this guy brutally missed or I literally hit him in the top of the head. Either way, we've caught our first bass out of Sam Rayburn and located where they are. This lake is, I mean, I am so lost in the best of ways. I was gonna say amazingly lost, but that doesn't really make any sense. Thank you, fish. Because just look at this. There's beautiful buckbrush flooded in like 3 to 4 foot of water. There's big willow trees flooded. There's a big field of lily pads. And then you have a hydrilla all out in the middle. That came out of lipless crankbait, this 6 cents Quake. Unfortunately, the lures I bought off Karl's Bait and Tackle to film this video, I greatly underestimated just how cold these waterways would be. That squarebill crankbait cannot get down to the 6 to 8 feet that these fish are hiding out in, at least in the middle. You can find a bunch of awesome lipless crankbaits just like this one on Karl's Bait and Tackle. Unfortunately, I only brought the squarebill crankbait and the jig and trailers to film this video. You gotta use what's working. A squarebill or lipless kind of works equally well this time of year, just depending on the depth. You just want something that's ticking the top of the grass, not getting stuck in it and causing a reaction bite. There's one. Boink. Why is it fighting so hard? It's not that big. All right, another solid one. All right, thank you, buddy. It's number 2 here in this bay. Now I can see how the guy said he caught 60. If all you have to do is throw a crankbait in these shallow bays, that is very easy. There's one. There's one. Bray didn't stop this one. Oh no, he's around the lily pad. I don't think it's very big. Yeah, it's not very big. Bray didn't stop this one. Oh, they always go so psycho. Look at that. You think he wanted that? All right, again, that's not a Texas-sized bass. They need to get bigger. Now, if you guys have fished lipless crankbaits in grass enough, you know that when the bite's really good, they're often getting it by that front treble hook. The reason that is because those weeds are just standing up like this, and your bait's coming up like this, and they're shooting up from the weeds and eating it like that. And they're just engulfing that whole front treble hook because they're trying to eat the bait head first. Is this a fish? What is this? Is this a fish or weed? Oh, it's a fish, all right. It's just so damn small, I thought it was a weed. But again, that front treble hook's right in his mouth. God, this is small. This is this year's hatch. There's one. And I'll bet you it's even smaller than the one I just caught. Almost. We're not going in the right direction. I just don't think I've been around the right fish. I mean, honestly, I just spent like a good hour in that tiny little cut, but they're all eating it super well. It's not like they're just swiping it. They're all getting the front hook. So I've caught some fish, but not the right size, and I don't think that I've been catching the right numbers either. I mean, this is the best bass fishing lake in the country. All right, we are not exactly on the mother lode right now, and I never had breakfast, so time to make my epic breakfast of, even though it's like 11:30, epic breakfast of breakfast sausage, eggs, and potatoes. I put ice in here 4 days ago in this OtterBox cooler, and look at that. It hasn't even melted a tiny bit. Let's just take all this out. And a pan. Paper towels. I'm hungry, so we're gonna put 5 on, because I gotta cook these things up. All right, about 20 minutes later, it's just about done. It took forever to cook because we're out in the wind here. It's not that strong, but it's just enough for it to take a while to cook. What is in here? Pretty much that whole bag of potatoes, 4 breakfast sausages, and 3 eggs that we have all scrambled together into one beautiful pile. Now I have to wait for my plate to cool down, and then we can dig in and catch the 10-pounders of Lake Sam Rayburn. Just finished up my wonderful breakfast. Switch spots. I fished like the whole back of this bay is all a big, beautiful grass flat, and I fished so much of it, but I didn't get a single bite, and I'm not sure if that's because there's nothing concentrating them. I had good luck in that really narrow cut right there because there wasn't a huge grass bed. It was very narrow. So instead of fishing the big expansive bays, I'm just gonna focus on the little cuts like this where the grass is much more condensed and thus the fish should be more condensed. At least that's what makes sense in my head. I don't know. I just know I gotta catch more. There's one. Well, first cast with a lipless. And they are on it again. Oh wow, and it is just a giant. This is why you come to Texas, boys and girls. Again, the one positive is that they're eating it well. Not ideal.